What's up, guys? This is Flatline MMA breaking down UFC 305, Israel Adesanya versus Dricus Du Plessis in Australia. I'm Bloom. I'm here with.
Bro, yes, sir. Let's get it. Big night of fights.
Yep. All right, first fight of the night. We've got Jesus Aguilar versus Stuart Nicole. Jesus Aguilar
Yeah,
pulls the upset at plus 180 against Stuart Nicole to open up the night. Already bringing down the Australians 0-1 against the visiting Mexicans. Roop, what'd you think about this fight?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I called this right. I mean, you had a big debate about the trash cans that both of them fought and who had better comp. Seems like I was right. Weird. Started off 1-0 there. I also said put 0.25 on a sub. He got a sub round one on the Gilly. He was getting out wrestled, but came out the winner. He jumped on the Gilly and got the tap.
Yeah, exactly. Aguilar, a little unprofessional, missed by, I think it was 2, 3 pounds, something like that. Missed weight the day
Womp
before.
womp.
That's not something that Dana likes to see, especially for a guy, flyweight division he hates already. Guy missing weight down there. But, hey, I mean, he pulled off the big upset. And, yeah, like Broop called it out right away. Pulls off the submission, exactly what Broop said in the first round. Right around that halfway point, right at the, it says here, 239.
Yep.
Pretty dominant. Shows that these strikers, these kickboxers, Muay Thai guys, just
Well
will get fraud
rounded.
checked right away in the UFC if you don't got any ground game.
Yeah.
So Broop starts up the night 1-0 because I picked Nicole to open up the card. Broop was up 1-0 on the night.
Yeah, I went on quite the run here till the last three. But
Moving on, Song Kenan versus Ricky Glenn. Song Kenan wins by unanimous decision. Pretty mid fight overall in my opinion. It was it was all right. Just a couple washed up journeymen. Some of these
yeah,
scorecards don't really make much sense. I'm looking at them here. I thought that when I was watching it, it was so early in the night, I forgot about it. Like, how is one scorecard 29-28 and another one's 30-26? There was some weird judging going on the whole night, though. This wasn't the only occurrence of some shitty judging. We'll get into that later, though. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Broop called
yeah.
it.
I
Broop said
mean,
that the fight would go to decision there, but he was on the wrong side. Picked Ricky Glenn. I had Sunken on there. Broop.
yeah. I mean, actually in my bets, I changed my mind on this one. Looking at the records, I actually went on. As I said, I had a whole card parlay, and I made it to the last rack. Went on a great streak, but yeah, I changed my mind on this one. Really looking, I knew that one of the Chinamen had to win. Obviously, Izzy. We'll get to that, but Song Kanan, he pulled it through, and I was really. I mean, they both look pretty sloppy. He definitely had the more power, though.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't a great fight. Ricky Glenn had a pretty cool walkout though, but that was really about it. All right, finish off the early prelims. One of the biggest favorites on the card, Tom Nolan versus washed up Alex Reyes. I mean, the inevitable happened. The only thing that I would say was kind of frowned upon, in my opinion, was him
He
not
didn't
being able
get
to
the
finish
KO.
this guy. You
Yeah.
got to think when you get a guy that has fought 3 times in the span of 5 years, once in the last 4 years, 3 years, whatever, since the Mike Perry fight. You can't finish this guy that's gotten chinned twice, and you're supposed to be a striker.
Had some spinal issues. You can't hit him in the back. Like, come on,
Yeah, I didn't really get it.
embarrassing.
I know.
But he looked fine. I mean, it is what it is. We move to the next. He wasn't. He'll be better in his next one. I'm excited to see who they put him against. But up next, we got the Jack Jenkins Herbert Burns fight. Now, Herbert Burns, Dana. I don't know what type of head he's giving you, what he's doing to you for you to keep this guy on the roster. I get Gilbert Burns' his brother, so it might be some family relation is why he's on. But he is pulling guard in the end of the first. He already gave up on striking with this guy. Jack Jenkins put on a clinic on him, jumped on him, and destroyed him. I mean, it was embarrassing. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's not really much to say. Jack Jenkins really just dominated the whole fight. He just started the leg kicks right away. He started cooking right away. It was like a fast opening right away. Didn't spend time like measuring that much. He just worked the leg kicks right away in the first round, and Herbert Burns was barely surviving to the end of the second. Jack Jenkins was mogging him, just standing over him by the end of the second when Herbert Burns was just laying there like a fucking bitch. just sitting there
Yeah.
on the fucking ground on his back. It was really just
Yeah.
a soft fucking fight, to be honest. Fucking Jack Jenkins got some great leg kicks, and he looked great. He for sure. Maybe one more fight, then a fight inside the rankings, maybe. But yeah, he's
Could
another
be.
another featherweight with a lot
Yeah.
of promise. Featherweight and welterweight got a lot of good young talent coming their way.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Lerone Murphy, but he's definitely a good fighter. So, but on to the next. We got to say our flipper, our what did we flip? The
Yeah,
some type of sauce.
we flipped the Burger King sauce, 50-50 shot, Casey O'Neill, Lunas Santos. And that's what it was. It was
One.
really just 50-50. It was
It was pretty dominant
yeah, it
for
was
Casey
dominant.
O'Neill. I mean,
Not gonna lie, barely
30,
watched.
30 you took a piss break?
Yeah, I took a dump.
I actually took it. I took Casey O'Neill in a couple of my parlays, so it was really easy. She really had no problem with Luana Santos. I mean, Casey O'Neill, she is a good fighter for the women's division. She looks pretty technically sound, but it's against Luana Santos who's shaking her ass with some TikTokers. So what do we really take from this? On to the next. I mean, do you
Yeah,
have anything else to say?
I did watch it honestly. Casey O'Neill, she was holding her own, pushing her own pace the whole time. Didn't really seem like Luana Santos like had any authority the whole time. She was just kind of like letting Casey O'Neill do whatever she wanted. And Santos was just kind of reacting. There was a couple she had a couple good like judo trips in there, but like that was really it. And she didn't really get much with them. Casey O'Neill just kind of got up when she felt like it barely had to work for it, honestly. And yeah, so these the female fighting nerds. Oh no, not much to offer there. The male fighting nerds though, like we'll see later in the night, they show up. Male fighting nerds, real deal. But women's MMA is gonna be women's MMA at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. And on the next, a very controversial decision. I mean, I loved it. I picked Ricardo Ramos, but I know Hunter picked Cooley wrong again. It's tough when you're Cooley and you're showboating, you get taken down and controlled on the back for about 3 minutes, 2 minutes on the first round. You lose that. Second round, you destroy him with leg kicks, and that's clearly your round. So it's obviously 1-1. Then you have a razor close third where you throw about 2 leg kicks after destroying him with leg kicks. I don't know where his IQ's at, and they bitched about the decision. I don't understand why, but I was happy to see Ramos got the decision.
Yeah, that's actually not true. I reviewed our last video and you picked Colibao. I picked Ricardo Ramos. It's video proof there. So yeah, I believe that put me ahead on the night. Yeah, Colibao, that put me up 5-4 on the night against you. I picked Ramos. Broop had Coolabao. Yeah, it was just really weird. I mean, Coolabao was showboating for literally no fucking reason. He choked the first round away by letting Ramos get his back. Sure, I mean, for Ramos to be a Brazilian black belt and not be able to finish this Filipino fuck, I don't get it. But, he survived, but he was celebrating like he's got something. Like he thinks like if he's dancing and fucking showboating and shit that he's going to win the round. It wasn't a good fucking look, to be honest. It was
Yeah, I'm
pretty
looking at my
pathetic.
betting slips and I see Ricardo Ramos in two of them. Don't know what that's about or why you're lying, but it's no problem. I get you're embarrassed by your really tough card, and you'll get back, champ. You'll get back
No, I
there.
did pick it because I remember I said this is a 50-50 fight because, like I said, these guys are the same size. And honestly, I thought that I was shocked that Ramos won, but I really could see it, honestly, because Culibao, if you're not like a fucking idiot that just gets persuaded by him showboating, acting like he's getting controlled all the time, he threw away rounds where it's like if he chopped down the leg of Ricardo Ramos, kind of like the Herbert fight, where it's like he chopped it down, but if the smart part about is that the guy kept making Herbert stand up, where like Colabao was just like running around circles around Ramos, so he's laying on his ass, letting his fucking foot get healthy and like being able to stand on it again, and that's why he was able to kind of dance around in the third. It was
Yeah,
just just genuinely just blatant retarded decision making out of Colabao there. Like he didn't want to win that fight.
not at all. And neither of them are really going anywhere. But Cooleybout definitely had the brighter future if he were to win this. So I really think it was a big mistake by him, but
Yeah,
it
and
is what it is.
and by the way, I called the law of do for Ricardo Ramos on this one. So yeah,
Yeah, good picks by us.
yeah, by me. All right, moving on. The final prelim of the night. Another wasn't really a debate once you got to see the replays, but was some conflict when it actually happened. Junior Tafa versus Walter Walker.
Yeah, I picked right on this one, of course. I believe you picked Junior Tafa, correct?
Nope, we both picked Walker on this one.
Yeah, it's a weird how you just get all these picks right. I don't know if that's true, but hey, we'll believe
It's
him, I
6-5 on
guess.
the night. I'm up by 1 at this point.
Excited to see how the rest goes. Yeah, I had Walter, and I knew he'd wrestle him. I didn't expect a quick heel hook at the end of the round, but it was going the way I thought it would. So nothing really to say a fat wrestler, another blob really, but he showed a little bit. Now I would love to see Walker against Gaziv. I think that would be a great matchup, but
Yeah,
that's just me.
I mean, yeah, I agree. You know what I mean? Like they showed the replay. They showed that Tafa was obviously screaming. They showed it from like 4 different angles. They had it mic'd up. UFC handled it really well to back up the refs on that one. Like you can't be screaming like that and then complain about a loss and then slap the dude after. Like Walker had you in the heel hook. You were fucking screaming like a bitch. Like don't fucking complain that they stopped the fight after. They go through it in the rules. Like I don't know what he thought was gonna happen when he started screaming when you're in the middle of a submission. But
Right.
besides that, Tafa, he looked like shit at 298, and he didn't look good here. I mean, Walter Walker, just another one of these. He's a likable guy. I thought his press conference was honestly hilarious, super funny stuff. I like that he called out his brother, but it's just a little retarded. He's this big dude, and you let Tafa get in there, and he kind of got wobbled a little bit. Took a couple big shots before he started to grapple on him. Like these fucking heavyweights do. I don't get it. If you got the grappling advantage, just go to that. I don't know why he's got to stand with him and get rung once or twice before he decides to move. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, good win for Walter Walker. Hopefully, I'm sure he'll get that fight against Tafa because it's another pointless fight. I don't know why Dana has these guys signed. Honestly, they don't really bring shit to the table. But cool fights, cool names, I guess, to have on the prelims. Good win for Walter Walker. Walker family needed a win because
Yeah, they
Johnny's
did.
not been providing.
No, brutally getting knocked out over and over again. I'm sure that's not great to see for the confidence of his brother, but and now I heard Johnny Walker's going to heavyweight.
I've heard that too. I've heard some rumors about that. I've heard the Guru talk about that, but
Oh,
nothing's set in stone yet. But I have heard the
yeah,
Guru mumbling about that.
yeah. So, but on to the next, probably the best performance of the night by far, Carlos Prates against Jingling Lee. So Li Jing, I mean, he's been out for a while. I love the Leech. One of my guys used to be for sure. When he knocked out Monzanibio, I remember that.
Oh,
I was right on
real
that one.
quick. What do you thought? What? So, say you're a casual fighter, right, or a casual fight fan, and you watched the prelims, right? You flipped on ESPN, so you only saw the main prelims. You're not playing the early prelims on ESPN. Watching the
Yeah,
prelims by themselves, was there a selling point on the card if you were 50-50 about buying it? You're a casual, you don't got
never,
shit going on, hand in your dick in your
never.
hand. I mean, was there any fights, the Tafa Walker, Colibao Ramos, Neal, Santos, Jenkins, or Burns, any of those that were like,
No. After if I never watched and I watched the Jenkins Burns fight, I think I would never watch again.
I thought literally the only peak moment that was a selling point was Walker on the mic. I thought that was like it was a funny one of the best parts of the prelims in general was kind of like a selling point, and it was like
Yeah,
the exclamation point on it was just watching this guy fucking stream and just have spit flying everywhere out of his mouth.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I that part was good, but really, I mean, embarrassing out of Dana.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't great honestly, but there were some moments, I
But
guess. It was, there's some debate, you know what I mean? So people had some stuff to talk about. You kind of like that when it's not just blowouts or just boring fucking grappling matches where there's just holding positions for the whole round. It wasn't the
Bully Bell
worst
fight was
prelims.
fine.
Yeah, I'd say that the
No,
Kolibau fight and Walker Tafa, just because the two debates in those were good.
yeah,
Women's MMA, not much you can expect. And Herbert's just a pussy. So get that dude out of the
yeah,
UFC. Anyways, what were you saying about I just want to get your thoughts on the prelims as a whole for the casual fan. What do
yeah. I mean, yeah, we got Prates, the next Anderson Silva. Some people are proclaiming. I mean, lost 6 fights, but I mean, what is he on a 10 fight win streak, 11 fights, something like that? He just knocked out the Leech, who hasn't been knocked out ever. So really impressive performance. You know, this kid, he can barely get out of range. He gets out by an inch, but he does it. He lands clean. He has good power. He doesn't mess with the ground. He's smart. He lets his guys back up right away before they can heal up. So I thought it was a really impressive performance by Prates.
Yeah, he looked great in there. He looked like he was in control the whole time. Nothing. He had the range figured out almost immediately. His striking was great. He's just got a great striker's build too. He's got like this really small body with these insanely long arms, super long legs, and like this wide shoulders and a small head. He's got like the perfect fighter build. He's got like a really good camp behind him with all the hype right now, fighting nerds. You know what I mean?
And
Like
he's
this guy's got
only,
everything behind him.
what is he, 30, 31? I mean,
Yeah.
he's pretty new to the game, so he still has a lot of time to progress in his skill set. I don't know. I wonder who they give him next.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, he's one of those guys, another welterweight that welterweight's got some good guys coming up to clear out the division. You got to get Colby out of there. He's just, too fucking scared to fight. He just became a fucking pussy.
You know,
We'll get Leon out of
Kamaru.
there. We'll get Kamaru out of there.
Well, Leon has to go through his immediate rematch, and then yeah, we can talk. But
Nah, we'll send
we
Leon
gotta
down
get
to
Jeff Neal out of there, Gilbert Burns out of there,
yeah. We'll give Leon
Neil
someone
Magny out
fucking
of
hard.
there.
But
Yeah. So
Prates looks really good. He looks great. He looks like easily for sure gonna climb his way up to like a top 5 spot in his next couple fights. I don't see anything stopping him. He's got the hype train. He's got the flash that Dana likes to see. There's nothing really you can't like about this dude.
facts.
Moving on. One of like we were talking about earlier, Tuivasa versus Rosenstruck. This is honestly I was a tie. I picked tie, but like I don't know what the fuck the judge was seeing. 30-27 tie, making this a split decision. I don't know what the fuck that was about.
Yeah, it
That
made me a
was
little nervous for one of my bets. That was the clinch, the linchpin, and when I heard that, I was like, "Oh man, they're smoking crack." But then when I heard another 30-27, I just knew there's no way the two judges saw it that way. So we love to see Rosenstruck taking it. I know I was on it, of course. Another one, right? Undefeated so far. Hunter, don't know about you. I think you actually picked the Leech, and you're just covering that up too. All good. I mean, I'll trust what you say. I believe I have a perfect card going. I know I did based on my bet slip. Believe you've hit like what, two? I think you hit the woman's fights. You flipped the little bottle, but besides that, I don't know how you're doing. Rosenstruck though, very technical, very not very aggressive, but smart game plan. Got out of the way, didn't really take that much damage. For a heavyweight fight, it's impressive. And he made Ty fight his style, fight his pace, and he came out with the dub.
yeah. I mean, yeah, Ty. I don't know. He just doesn't have that dog game anymore. Is kind of what it seems like. You know what I mean? He brings the vibes. The whole stadium, like you could just tell. Like it was like it was one of the only moments throughout the whole card where like the stadium like erupted anytime Ty hit him with any sort of a threatening shot. The whole place would just erupt. So like the fans had his back, but it was just like it just seems like he doesn't have that dog anymore to want to fight like those types of hard
Well,
wars that are like the fights that he has to have to win. You know what I mean?
that's no, I really don't. I mean, your analysis over the fight was he doesn't have that dog in him anymore.
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
and maybe go into how he doesn't have the chin anymore. He's been knocked out, not in this fight, but he's been knocked out a couple times. The Gone one, I think, really.
well, if you
We're
actually
one round.
watch the fight, he every time that he got hit by any straight or any hook by Rosenstruck, instantly back up and stay out of range, which you can't do with a
Yeah,
fat
he's
fuck
fighting his pace.
kickboxer.
He was fighting at kickboxing
And it's
pace when
like
he
for
should have
Ty
been
to
fighting at
win, you know
Marauder
what I mean? When
pace.
he was at his best, when he was fighting Derek Lewis, he wasn't afraid to get in the range and drop elbows on
Correct.
Derek Lewis and stuff like that. Like he's got to be in the pocket with the guy. He can't be fucking standing out at
Well,
range.
maybe he
Just
doesn't have the chin anymore because he's been knocked out a couple times.
well, that's part of having the dog is having the chin.
Oh, okay. Can you define having the dog in him?
Well, like I said, going to battle, like when he was with Derek Lewis, did you see him be afraid of getting in range? You know what I mean? Like Derek Lewis was literally laying on top of him while Ty was below him, and he was against the cage, standing up as Lewis was literally just hammering his fucking face with punches, and he stood
Mhm.
up, and then obviously finished him with that elbow, at real close with Derek Lewis. You know what I mean? That's the kind of fight that he would have had to have if he wanted to beat Rosenstruck, but he didn't, so it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Ty, he'll be a name still, but I will not be tailing him on any bets, and I don't think there's anybody on the roster except for maybe Oh, chain question after this. After seeing how Rosenstruck did against Tai Tuivasa, does this still legitimize Shamil Gaziev?
Uh, yeah, I mean, Gaziev is not. Who's his next fight? I believe he has a next fight. I know he
Does he?
just won. Maybe it has got announced yet, but I'm excited. No matter what, I'm excited to see who he fights. I mean, he had a great and all-time last fight against Dontel Mays. Really impressive stuff. I think he sat on him for 3 rounds. So that was really good out of him.
I
He
don't
does
see
not have a
anything.
fight yet. Yeah, he doesn't have one yet, but I'm excited to see what gets announced for him. A real good contender series guy. You knew when you saw him get an RNC in the contender series be a real problem. He beat Martin Buday. And then he got TKO'd by not wanting to get off the stool against Rosenstruck, and they beat Mays. So I don't know how we get on these Gazeev topics, but it always somehow comes up every pod. So love me some Shamil.
Yeah. So I don't really know where Ty goes from here. I don't know where his next fight will be or what he'll do. I don't know. Maybe he'll get like a TOF or something like that. I don't know. I don't think they train together. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
You just
mean,
gotta give him a layup fight. You know what I mean? You can't give him any fucking long guys 'cause they'll just keep him at range, and you just gotta give him a fight where like you can make it entertaining.
yeah,
Maybe you could do
I
like a
mean,
Derek Lewis 2 or something like that. I don't know.
nah, I say give him a jolt in Almeida. Make him work for his paychecks.
Nah, dude, Almeida, that would be such a boring fight. Almeida's just gonna grapple all the time, and Ty's gonna have nothing
Future
for him.
champ Almeida. Who would you pick in an Almeida Aspinall fight if Almeida beat someone good?
I'd take Aspinall all day because the Aspinall's a BJJ black belt, and I'm not a big Aspinall guy, but
You would cheer for Aspinall.
yeah, I would cheer for Aspinall in that scenario against Almeida because Almeida has nothing on the feet and is only a fucking dick sniffing grappler.
Bold.
But all right, moving on. One of the closest wars of the night, or the closest war of the night, that was actually like a real battle. Mateus Gamrot
Ru-
versus Dan Hooker, an absolutely brutal parlay killing fight right there.
Ruined every fucking parlay. Don't
Brutal
get me
card.
started on how bad Gamrot is. I believe he's been knocked down in like 4 of his last 5 fights. RDA, Dariush, Hooker. I mean, I believe your guy Sark knocked him down. So 4 of his last 5 fights, he's been at least knocked down. I don't
Yeah.
know where this guy's chin's at. I don't know why he's such an idiot. I don't know how you are touted as this big wrestler and you can't take anyone down. I mean, this just really proves that Saryuki losing to him is just embarrassing. I mean, you should be dominating this guy on the feet and the ground. So I don't really know what this does for. I mean, I like Hooker against Charlie Olives. I know you're a big Oliveira fan, so you can really go off with that one. But I'm super embarrassed by Gamrot, and I hope he gets fed to the PFL to fight Mokayev at this point.
Yeah, I mean, for Dan Hooker, great fight out of him. You know what I mean? Like, he got cut up pretty bad, but I think that's just kind of like a Nate Diaz type of thing where he's just got all the scar tissue built up from some, like, the DP fights that he was in, stuff like that. I just think that some of the wars he's been in has been cutting him up, the Chandler fight even. I just think he's got a lot of
Well,
scar tissue that makes the fight look closer than it was. But yeah, I mean, I picked Gamrot, but Dan Hooker, I mean, he did a really good job sprawling and stuff like that in the fight, not letting Gamrot just roll around the whole time. And then he had some really good power this fight. I mean, Gamrot is literally just a chinny fucking retard, honestly. There's just no other way to
yeah,
describe it. Gamrot is just a chinny fucking tard. He doesn't
panic
have
grappling. Fuck.
He's just a fucking idiot. He didn't have like a great game plan. He just felt like if he was gonna be able to wrestle this guy for 15 minutes and win, and then found out Dan Hooker can fucking sprawl and basically had nothing to respond to it, and then Hooker would land like one punch every like 3 minutes, like average throughout the fight, that would just fucking have this guy wobbling around like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, not much to talk about. I don't want to relive this fight at all. I hate Gamrot. And again hope he gets shipped off to anywhere else.
Yeah, it was a brutal fight. I don't know. I think a layup. I think if they're trying to extend Dan Hooker's lifespan, I think that they give him Gaethje as the next fight. If they're trying to give him a legit fight and they're trying to hype up someone else, then I think they give him the Oliveira fight and they let Oliveira beat him, and then they give Oliveira an excuse to get another like title shot fight or like a fight to qualify for a title shot.
Notice how you're bouncing on Oliveira, saying it would be a layup for him to fight Hooker. It's just weird how much you love this guy. I mean, I know
I
you're
don't even think
somehow turning
Oliveira
into this
can.
big Brazilian guy. You love Oliveira, you love Alex Bahia, you love all of the you loved Amanda Nunes when she was in her prime. I mean, you love these
I don't
Brazilians. I
like
don't know
any
what
women's
you like
MMA
about them.
fighters at all,
Oh, my fault. You're right. That was too far.
except
But
for Tracy Cortez.
anyways, yeah, oh, love Tracy Cortez.
But yeah, I mean, I
Anyways,
that's my take on it. I think if they're trying to extend Dan Hooker and like give him more opportunities to get into a battle, I think they give him Justin Gaethje. I think that's a great fight. That's going to be a battle again. If they're trying to, you know, they don't really give a fuck what happens, then they're going to give him Charles Oliveira and they're going to let Charles Oliveira beat this guy. I think that they really kind of are at a decision of what they want to do with Dan Hooker by who they give him next.
yeah. But going on to the next,
Well, wait,
it's a
who do you
sad
think
day for
Gamrot?
us.
Who do you think Gamrot?
I hope he goes to the PFL.
Well, he's gonna obviously not go to the PFL. Who do you think he fights next in the lightweight?
I mean, Jalen Turner should have beat him. You know, that would be a great fight to run back, but I don't think they're going to give Jalen Turner that low of a shot. I feel like he should get a number one contender spot. But I would give Gamrot the winner of the Saint Denis Moicano fight.
I thought the exact same thing, honestly. I completely agree. I think that Saint Denis should fight Gamrot next, and honestly, I think that Saint Denis would win that fight. If
Yeah, I do too.
as long as he beats Moicano, of course. But as long as he beats Moicano, I could really see him getting the Gamrot fight and winning, then getting right back up in that fringe top five
Upper echelon.
situation, top six, top seven
Yeah.
situation.
Although Gamrot always gets knocked out. So I would love to see Benoit Saint Denis knock this guy out.
Yeah. So I think Saint Denis would win, and I'll be praying on Gamrot's downfall after costing me so much money this weekend. Moving
Yeah.
on, the biggest downfall no one wanted to see: Steve Urseg versus Kai Kara France. Pretty short fight,
Sad day.
round one knockout, late in the first round, 4 minute. I don't know. It's just honestly,
Yeah.
he looked good. He looked good the whole fight until Kai Kara France stepped on his foot and got that. Obviously, Ursig still missed the first punch, but then Kai Kara France followed with that hook and landed it.
Yeah, I mean, Urseg, he's fighting a great fight. He should be the flyweight champ. Not anymore, but he should have been. It's really sad to see. I'm a big Ursay guy. I mean, I've been on him since the Dover knock fight. I lost money on him on that night. I remembered how good he was. You see him get a knockout. You see him basically win the flyweight belt without the judges giving it to him. And you see him get knocked out by Car France. Really sad day for us, Ursay, man. I mean, life of the party. And then you have Kai Car France over there. He's kind of, I don't know, what do you even do with him? You give him the any type of fight with Pantoja? Probably not. Maybe. See, I mean, it's the only real guy you can give to him. I guess what they're gonna do is they're gonna give Kaikar France Pantoja. They're gonna give Amir Albazi. I don't know, maybe Brandon Moreno, and and then you give the winner of Royval and Tatsu Taira the winner of Urseg Pan or Kaikar France Pantoja.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like a pretty realistic scenario to me. I don't hate that. I don't know. I just feel like Urseg, I think he should take a little bit of time off. He's been a good active fighter, but like once you get chin like that, if you don't want to get that Alex Reyes fall off, I feel like you got to kind of take a break. And I don't know, maybe he could come back. I guess that's a realistic timeline. No, that'd be what, probably 3 months from now. No, a little bit more. It'd be 4 months. End of the
Ersteg should not come back for like a month, or I mean 6 months.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking
February.
maybe of end of the year fight, 4 months from out, but that's even kind of like just an active fight standpoint. So
Yeah,
I think January,
maybe.
February should come back. I think he should take some time off, rest his chin, get back in there because he looked good. It's not like he looked shitty or lazy or anything like that. It looked like Carr didn't anything crazy for him. He just caught him.
Yeah,
I just think he's got to take some time off and just let his chin heal. I think if he tries to get active and rush back in there, I think it could fuck up his career. So I just recommend a break for Urseg, and then I agree with you with the Kakar France outlay. Now, the main event of the evening, Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya. Dricus finally pulls out the fucking, I don't even, was it an upset? I guess it was an upset. I think it was like plus 105 or something like that.
it was
Slight
dead
upset.
even.
Yeah, it was like even when it closed, and it was like right there. Pulls it
So
out against
depressing.
Izzy. Brutal, brutal fight. Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
DDP looks so bad all the time, and then he just flies in with horrible punches. They somehow land and somehow hurt everyone. And then Izzy chews him up for a great 2 minutes and then just backs away, regens, smokes him in the body, smokes him with a hook, smokes him with a lead uppercut. He had a couple nice ones where I saw split fly. I'm like, oh, here it is. Then you go into the fourth. I had it 2-1 Izzy. You go into the fourth and you see DDP try to get a takedown, get out sprawled by Izzy, not want to get back up. It takes him a second to get back up. And then he somehow hits him with a really clean left. I have a lot of people miss it, but they showed one replay and you saw him. He just bounced his head off the wall or the cage, and then Izzy's rocked. He takes him down. He just gets the choke. It's really depressing, but it's how the fight game goes. I mean, what do you think about the fight? I thought that Izzy looked good until he didn't. Is the
Yeah,
best way
I
I
had
can
it the
put it.
same way. Most people I talked to, uh, and that's kind of how the internet's had it too. Most people had it 2-1. You know what I mean? If I could see it both ways, but like just the way that Dricus was sitting on the stool at the end of the third and stuff like that, the way he was breathing, it was like night and day from the way he looked against the Strickland fight. I feel like in the fourth, you're breathing heavy, but like it didn't look like he was dying relative to going into the fourth round of a fight. But
Yeah,
like in this one against Izzy, going into the fourth round, he was dying on the bench, dude. Like he looked like he was done. I was like, Israel Adesanya, I know he took a year off. He's a kickboxer. They're active. You know what I mean? They're used. I was like, he just keeps this guy at range. I don't think Dricus is gonna have much more energy to go for more takedowns. But Izzy just kind of had to be retarded, honestly, and Dricus caught him. And once again, it doesn't seem like Izzy's got that dog in him. It didn't seem like he was battling to stay in that fight. Just kind of. That's one of Izzy's biggest flaws, in my opinion, is when he gets stung like that, he runs away and like turns his back and like just gives up his back completely, like hunch over kind of when you get caught. So your knees are weak, but you don't need to turn your back to your opponent. But
yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, where do we know where DDP goes from here? He fights Strickland,
yeah, Strickland
which
fight. Well, I'm going Strickland on that one.
of course you are. And then, but really, where does Izzy go from here?
I don't know.
You,
It's such a
if,
tough situation. I was like, because you can't really give him. Because there's a whole line now, so it's like obviously Dricus is gonna fight Strickland, and then the winner of Kamzat or Whittaker. If Whittaker beats Kamzat, Whittaker's getting the next shot right after.
yeah, I think if Kamzat beats Whitaker, he'll probably get the shot just based on they need him to be a champion because he brings in so much money from the Abu Dhabi crowd.
Yeah, I was like, maybe you could try to make it like a huge co-main event or whatever, like Yeah, excuse me. Co-main event of maybe you could do like a Kamzat Adesanya co-main event, kind of like a big fight, because that'll like you could do something like that if he beats Whitaker, and then like if he
Yeah,
beats
that's
Adesanya, that'd be like
tough
a
though.
huge jump up in like
But
stardom
he
for him.
only fights like once a year, and he only fights in Abu Dhabi, and I'm sure they're not gonna have the Strickland DDP fight in next October. So realistically, I don't know. I mean, I see Izzy going. I thought if Chal Burrell knocks out Cannonier, and they want to get that kid up, I think that's a really good fight.
Hmm.
He'll probably move to probably the 6, 7 spot. Izzy will probably be in the 3. So it's not that far off. One's fighting up because he's been on a winning streak. One's fighting down. So I thought that would make sense. It'd be a striking match. The fighting nerds. I mean, that I thought that would be pretty good. We'll see how that goes. Or if that doesn't happen, you could do the winner of Brendan Allen against Imanov against Izzy. But who knows? It's really tough.
Yeah,
So,
and then
so
yeah, so for this card, I called under 4.5 rounds. Parlay reviews. My parlay of the night was Prates Ursag Gamrot, 1 out of 3. So failed. And then, or no, that was yeah. And then yours was Rosenstruck Prates Gamrot. So
two
we
out
were
of
right
three.
there. None of our parlays hit, and that's all that matters. We tied on the night 7 for 7. We both tied, and then we all called the last 3 the same way. So you tied me up with that Rosenstruck versus Tai Tuivasa call,
Yeah,
and
and
then we
we tied
pushed
on
the last 3.
Ramos and tied on some others, but no problem. I mean, I guess we're letting this guy keep the scorecards, but all good. I mean, I remember picking Song, but no problem.
All right, next we'll do biggest winners and biggest losers of the card. My 2 biggest winners were Dan Hooker, obviously beating Gamrot. That's a huge revival to his career. He's gonna get back in the single digits for lightweight rankings. I had Prates, of course. Prates looked great in there. He brought a bunch of hype, and I'd say just the whole fighting Brazilian fighting nerds camp as a whole. Who are your biggest winners? Then we'll go into losers.
I'll only do one, and I thought it was pretty obvious. I think Kai Kara France is going off a cliff. He had a tough loss against Amir Albazi, where, including myself, everyone thought he won. We're shocked by the scorecards. He was out for a year because of some brain scan issues, and he probably CT. Let's just say it how it is. He was having foggy days. And he comes out here and knocks out Ursay, who everyone was calling the flyweight champ. So I think he's no doubt the biggest winner. Hooker, I get it, but where does this really put him? It doesn't put him in a title fight. I think this puts Kai Car France right in a title fight. So I got Kai Car France as the biggest winner.
And then my biggest losers of the card were, of course, Gamrot, Kolibao, and Izzy were my 3 biggest losers of the card. And I put Toph was a fringe guy for me, but I was like he didn't really have much hype to begin with, other than just being this fat fuck. So I would guys with the name, I'd say Gamrot. Kolibao was not really with the name either, but he had some hype behind him and was celebrating like a fucking idiot. And then obviously Izzy, because like we've all been saying, like everyone's been talking about where the fuck does this guy go from here?
Yeah, I mean, again, I'll go with one. I wouldn't say Usyk 'cause he looked good and just got caught. That happens. I
Yeah.
won't say Izzy because it was a dead even fight and he looked pretty good going up to it. So, I mean, I don't think he's the biggest loser. Now, this guy, Gamrot, I, don't get me started on this guy. He gets chinned. He starts panic grappling the whole fight, doesn't get takedowns. He gets out sprawled. Against RDA, it might have worked. He gets chinned and gets the takedowns because RDA clearly has no wrestling defense against someone this high caliber, at least I thought. But clearly, this guy just has no fight IQ besides, oh, I'm going to get hurt and go for a single leg or a double leg, not get it, and then fly around the cage running. So, Gamrot, I hate you. I really hope you get cut or get hit by some type of bus, honestly. Oh, BSD wins against Moicano, then knocks Gamrot out in the first and about early next year. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, that's really all I got. We tied 7 for 7 on the night. Not great. Out of 12 fights, we both
Controversial.
we both shot 7 for 12 on the night. I'm not saying we bet all those, but that's how we called it. Yeah, neither of our parlays hit, and that's gonna be the tiebreaker. So we'll just push on to next week for a great Apex fight night. There's only a couple good fights on that, honestly, but better
Yeah,
than
we
better than the
might just
last
have to
few.
break down like
Better
we might
than
break down like three
Shondaroba.
or four. That was a great one. I hit on that second round sub. I was right on that.
Of course, Bryce is
But
closely watching women's MMA. Broop is closely watching women's MMA, but
of course. But yeah, that'll do it. I mean, not much else to talk about. We'll talk in a couple days talking about the next card.
yeah, we'll come out with the Apex Brow versus Cannoneer Apex fight card predictions. Probably in a couple days here. Today's Tuesday, so yeah, we'll think Thursday, maybe Friday at the latest. We'll come out with that predictions. And yeah, hopefully
Sure.
Danny can work on it. Thanks for tuning in to Flatline MMA. See you, Broop. Thanks
Yep.
for joining.
For sure. Have a good one, guys. Great card.
Yeah.